back, folks. It's Sleepless Night. Sleepless Night, just checking my microphone there, so I suppose there's an awful clunk. Make sure it was running, because it wouldn't be unlike me to make a half-hour video or so and leave the mic running all that time. I'll try to keep this one under half an hour, but of course, that's what I always say, and I just ramble on far too long. Now, that's probably going to be the probably going to be the case this time. I just noticed something about this ship, and I'll try to maneuver into a position here that I can show you in a moment, because, as you can probably tell by the image on your screen there, I have finally done it. I finally worked my way all the way up to the mighty Anaconda. So you can see here that we've got our way all the way up to what is at this point a beta 1.04, the most expensive ship in the game. And so it should be, as I've been throwing it around a bit out in space and seeing what it could do. So first of all, you can probably see I have tooled this thing up. Seriously. Now, what I haven't done, if you look at the top of the list there, this is Class 6 hardpoint, right? I can't really find... I mean, I've got 3 Class 6 hardpoints. That's intense. I guess I probably could have put, like, maybe another turret on this. You know what? Oh, I can't, because I've come to a different station now, so I can't. But look at that, Class 8. I mean, that's for stuff like the plasma accelerator and so on. But, of course, I don't know if you can even get that anymore yet in this version of the game. But the plasma accelerator I certainly can't get. And if I could, I don't know. I've got just over 1 million credits remaining now. So, but I've got 2 C4 turreted pulse lasers on the Class 6 hardpoints at the top. So they're C4 turreted pulse lasers. Now I was really unsure, because there's not an awful lot of information as to what they do. I was kind of unsure what they... no, we don't want to do that. What they do when you're in a fight. What it turns out, of course, what they do is that they just, once you start, and once you have a target firing on you and that you are firing on with other weapons, the turrets will automatically track that target to an extent and just keep firing on it. So, yeah, that's pretty... So now, I've got gimbaled C3, Class 3 gimbaled multi-cannons on the side here, and on the other side there, behind these little lovely, beautiful slidey door things. You can see the Falcon de Lacy logo there on the side. And then C1 burst lasers underneath, because they're Class 2 hardpoints, so you can only get a C1 anyway. And I actually quite like the burst laser. It's a shame that you can't get like C3 gimbaled burst lasers, because the burst lasers I find really, really nice to sort of work with. But as I said, before, the gimbaled multi-cannons, they're always there to sort of make sure that you've always got a weapon on backup when your energy weapons overheat. But yeah, the turret. Should we? I'll tell you what. I don't know if we can. No, I can't make it work. No, I can't from here. So never mind. Don't worry about that. So, oops. Oh, there. Oh, wait. Maybe if I go into outfitting now, we can actually. Let's go in there, and you can see them. Oh no, I didn't quite do it. There they are. They're just popping out of their hard points. I'm a child. So yeah, we're all the way up to the Anaconda. Now, what this means is, of course, now you can see me. I'm going to go out and test drive the Anaconda in a moment. We'll pick some station at random. I'm not going to haul any cargo. We'll pick some station at random. Just head out there. But I'll show you what I did do. Look at this. Let's see if I can. Oh, I know where I can show you that. Let's head over here. And if we go on to missions, look at that, baby! 900 credit bounty in federal jurisdiction, 300 credit bounty in federal jurisdiction. So, if I go back into Starport Services, and I go into contacts, and I go down to the local security office, I can redeem 1,200 credits of bounty vouchers. Now, the reason that I have those is because I really, because you can really tool this ship up, it's the only ship really that I'm aware of that turreted weapons actually work on. I think the Lakon T9 had a turreted point, but I put something on that. It never seemed to do anything, even when I was in a fight. But I tooled this up, and because I'm right at the top end now, right? And so what this means, of course, is that after the Anaconda, when I've test driven this, what it means is that the next video that I put up will be a combat video. So after this, this is the point now. I've gone as far up as I can in the beta version. That's what I wanted to do before, and so that I will have sufficient money to fall back on and to go down to a Viper and really sort of tool that up and go out and, you know, explore and duck and dive amongst asteroids and head out to, you know, navigation beacons, unexplored points and things like that. But with the Anaconda, I just thought, well, you know, you can tool this up to such a degree, it would be a shame to take it out there and not see what it's capable of. So I went out, just before I started making this video, I headed out to the nav beacon in this system, and I did this. So what the first thing was, I was chasing this guy, right? So Travis, here he is, he's being chased. Boom, boom, boom. Turrets at the front, on the top of the front there, are firing away at him.
Target shields.
His shields are down, and he knows he is pwned. So what does he do? Boom! There he goes. So we didn't get him. Right, so then I picked on this guy, Sully, who, you know, he has wanted, you can see there in the left, and he's only flying a little hauler. Of course this is a hauler, so look at that, shields down already. This ship is awesome. And I got to this point and then I thought, well, I'm just gonna, you know what, we'll just let him explode. Boom, there we go. Just leave him in peace to blow up in his own time. There you go, you see? It's, yeah, it doesn't, you don't really have much, when somebody's really tooled up an Anaconda, if they decide to fire at you and you're in a hauler or something like that, you're not really gonna have much time to think about what to do next, apparently, because it seems that if you really tool up an Anaconda, you can pretty much just make a clean sweep of virtually anything that's there quite quickly, as long as your weapons don't overheat. You've got turrets, and bear in mind, I've actually got a few spare hardpoints on this that I'm not using. So anyway, let's launch. So as per usual, the capture software probably won't deal very well with this. If it does, it does. But if it doesn't, I'll see you on the surface in a moment. Come on, release my ship.
Ship released. Ship. Engines engaged.
Thank you. Excellent. Up we go. Slowly up. Retract the landing gear. Whee! Busy. Busy. Whoopsie. Overshot there a bit. Oh, why do I always do this? Oh, you know what? This is not a Type 9. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world. So I head out, pointing it down. You couldn't really do this in the Type 9, of course, but in the Anaconda it's much easier. You can, you know. It's a big ship, and it, you know, holds 228 tons of cargo, but it's kind of big in the other direction. So the Type 9 is really wide, which means that it doesn't, you know, you really have that tight squeeze, you remember from my last video, to sort of fit through the docking bay.
Detecting hostile scan.
Ooh. So, you know, that big sort of thing to fit through the docking bay there, but this is more sort of long, elongated, as you can see, because of course we're sat up here in the bridge, and you can see the difference between this ship and the other ships is that you can see the entire ship there stretching out in front of us. So there you go, you know, you can see, look, there you go, the thrusters firing. Whee! Beautiful. Lovely thing. Now, if you see there where she said ship scan detected, detecting hostile scan. So you probably notice what I've figured out about this is what's really awesome is that, let's just pick a system at random. Says he, taking his time to pick one that he thinks is nice. I don't think I've ever been to LFT 1361. What the hell? Let's just go there. So you probably noticed there that you probably could hear the ship's you know, the little voice, the little female voice there that comes on and says you these things. She was a little bit more. What I found out yesterday when I got this is she's a little bit more echoey. So they've thought the sound through in this game to such a degree that when you're on a great big enormous bridge, when you're in a tiny cockpit, you hear her voice very much like you've probably heard it before in other videos. But then when you're in a ship with a bridge as big as this one, and believe me when I tell you, let's have a look around, it is big. So, you know, there's not a lot of the sort of, oh my god, what the hell's happened to me? I can't remember the word. Yeah, anyway, your field of view, if you like, is not great. But if you look around to the side here, look, this bridge is huge, so her voice kind of echoes around in here when she speaks. And we've got loose wires up there for some reason. I don't really. I hope that's not going to cause any kind of problem. Of course it isn't. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ski oasis. Oops, no, I didn't want to do that. So we're going to head out here to. Let's just get on with it, shall we?
Drive charging.
See, you can hear her echoey voice there. Drive charging. Yeah, a bit echoey. We're going to head out to this thing. By the way, you know I've seen the others. Watch the temperature down here. Look at that. This thing just 65, and it's not going any higher, right?
2, 1.
Wait till we get out on the other side. Come on, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's all very pretty. We want to get over there. So, there we go. So yeah, what was I? Let's find where we're going. What's the station here? Oh, there is no. There is no station here. Why? Because I didn't look before. I've never been out there. I said to myself, why have you never been out there? Because there's nowhere to go. There is no station in this system, so I guess we're not staying here. Let's go to Ross 1057. What the hell? 13.66 light years. Can we make it there? I should think so, baby. So, if you notice there, what I was telling you about the temperature. So you look at the temperature, and you know, because I've been in the Lake on Type 9, but particularly that Type 6, you know, and I went on and on about how hot the damn thing got, and it was just, man, it would overheat at the slightest sneeze, that thing, it was dreadful. But this, it just never seems to get, even when it's going through its hyperdrive charge phase, it never seems to get above 65%. It just never ever seems to. It seems to be very, very good at dissipating heat. This vessel. Whoosh. Hey, Wang Estate. Yeah, very. What a lovely name. So, we're going to head out to Wang Estate. So, now the other thing is, so the Anaconda is definitely, you know, if you're going for sort of haulers, I know it's ridiculously expensive, but you know, that is not without reason. If you're going up to the sort of haulers and you're going to haul lots of cargo, you know, you're going to do trade as going to be your main thing. This thing's got so many hard points. I mean, you can tool this thing up so that the thing's virtually indestructible. Well, you know, obviously not. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, you probably won't have, but of course I'm still playing at the moment to make these videos. I'm still playing in oops, what am I doing? I'm still playing in solo mode, and that's, you know, just for the purpose of making these videos, because this beta 1.04 just does seem to have some stability issues, and every time I load up the open play one, it takes about 5 minutes for something to spaz out or crash or something. It's just really, really kind of, it's not good. But so yeah, this thing seems to dissipate heat really, really well. And if you're going to go for the hauler sort of end of things, this is the way to go, because you can just load this thing up. So it's like, you know, it's like Arnie going out in Commando, you know, click, one of those things. And yeah, it's just, it can fight its way through just about anything, it seems, if you know what you're doing. Even though, you know, it's not the most manoeuvrable thing in the universe. Now, that is, as compared with the Type 9, which is the last video that we did, of course, that thing, You know, it handled like, it steered like much like I would imagine an inner city bank might do, and it was probably about as difficult to hit if you were shooting at the thing. But yeah, you know, and sped up and slowed down at about the same rate as continental drift, so it wasn't really, you know, it didn't really handle very well around town. Oh, right, and now I'm going to slow right down here because I want to try something. So we're going to point. I discovered something earlier on. I discovered. Now, I'm sure many of you playing Elite may have discovered this for yourselves already. But what I discovered is, see down there in the bottom left, your alignment thing, and I've shown you this before, when you're coming out of Supercruise. So we're heading out now to the Wang Estate, and you're supposed to, when both of those bars, those orange bars dropping there, meet, they're both within the little blue areas on the speed and distance bars there in the bottom left hand corner. So when they're both in those blue bars at the same time, you get your little message that says safe disengage ready, right? But what I discovered today, and you know, alright, you're probably out there going, yes, we already knew that, you're way behind the time. But what I discovered for myself today was that if you let it go right up to the letter, so when it goes safe disengage ready, usually when you're within 1,000 kilometers of your destination, right? So if, here it comes, if you just leave it and wait till that distance bar just nips outside the blue bar on the other side. So let's see if I can time it right. Let's get it right. Come on, come on. Let's see what we can do. Come on. No. No. I didn't do it this time. I jumped the gun and I pressed it way too soon. Come on, come on. Where are we? Yeah. Now I jumped the gun and I pressed it way too soon. But if you time it right and you don't press the Supercruise disengage button when it says to, let's see if we're on the right side of the station. If you time it correctly, you can actually end up much closer to the station. So you see Wang Estate there, 19 kilometers away, or you know, you usually come out of Supercruise about 20 kilometers away from your destination. But if you time it right when you drop out of Supercruise, and you don't just immediately drop out when it says safe disengage ready, if you time it perfectly, you can actually drop out right next to the station, or a lot closer to it. You know, sometimes I did one earlier on, it was like 11 kilometers away. But it is a bit of a risky strategy because I did it at Novisky Oasis earlier on, and this happened. Yes. So it's a bit of a risky strategy. If you can, you know, just drop out of Supercruise really close and like, whoa, it save you all this messing around and boosting towards the thing. You know, I mean, that's not so much of a problem, I guess, if you're in a Viper, which is ridiculously fast anyway, so you can cover that 20 kilometers distance in no time whatsoever. But when you're in a big cargo ship, particularly if you're in something like the Type 9, you might want to save yourself a bit of time, and if you're willing to take the risk of smacking into the station, like I almost did earlier on, if you're willing to take that risk, then you know, that's what I recommend. Just don't drop it out when it says safe disengage ready. The top blue line, the little tiny one, you just wait until that is the tiniest hair's breadth on the other side of its blue thing. Like immediately, you have to time it perfectly. But if you press it then you can drop out much closer to the station than it normally drops you. Oh, somebody has upset them. Boom. Okay, let's request docking clearance since
Request
I seem to have dropped into a bit of a habit of... Oops, where's the station gone? There it is. I seem to have dropped into a bit of a habit of...
Detecting hostile scan.
Thank you. Of forgetting to request docking clearance lately. I've done it a couple of times today already. What am I doing? And yeah, so I'm going in and I'm like concentrating on some other super thing that I've just discovered and think is really cool, and then all of a sudden I get a trespass warning thing when I go inside. I want to slow down. So this, you know, as you can probably see, you don't have to line it up quite as well as you do with the Type 9, but it is you know, you can clang it off I've clanged it off the sides there quite a few times, but you've got to remember that you are now, of course, protruding on this little bubble above the top of the ship. So just watch that you don't batter it into the sides there. Look out, little cobra. So we'll put down the landing gear. No, shall I? It is down. I just told them that that's what I was going to do. Now, this has got quite a good thing. Can you see that little antenna type thing sticking up right at the nose of the ship? So right down there at the bow, you can see there's like a little antenna thing sticking up right in the middle. So that's quite good for sort of lining yourself up for landings and stuff like that. But the other thing, if you look, if I level the ship out, wow, there you go, because it's like arrowhead shaped. You know, it's good for sort of lining yourself up a little bit. But you know, that's a great thing. We can a little bit further forward, please. Thank you. A little bit further. And down we go.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Boom. So let's go inside, shall we? See you inside. Yay. Okay, so so we're now here at the Wang Estate at Ross 1057. Where I'll be when I next see you, I don't know. But that's it for now. You know, we've looked around our little. We've looked around our little, not little, of course, Anaconda, not in the slightest bit little. And can we actually deploy the hardpoints here in the station? No. So we've had a look around it. We've flown all the ships basically now that you can get in the game. So I've shown you every one that you can so far get in beta 1.04. So the next time you see me, I'll be flying a Viper with a nice shiny paint job, and I'll have tooled it up and we'll get into some combat finally. Okay. If you want to check out any other Elite videos, you can check out Sleepless Night Studios. That's not me, of course, if you remember from before, or those of you who've been following the Elite newsletter or watch these kind of videos will probably already know that, you know, that's not me. Sparrow with a gun over at Sleepless Night Studios. He does some decent videos, and he does these sort of regular things, these hands-on kind of, you know, not figuring out what he's doing as he's going along, you know, much as you would in the game yourself. Scott Manley also does some decent Elite videos, and I think in the Elite newsletter there was yet another one from, what's it called, Ice and No or something. Anyway, I'll try and put some links to their channels down in the description below. I'll be making more videos, of course, besides the gameplay videos. Hopefully there'll be some other videos coming up shortly in the near future. I don't have a camera, but we'll work with what we got at the moment, shall we? But of course I'll make another one when I'm in the Viper, and I'll make a combat video later on. If you want to keep me making these videos, always helpful, like the video down in the down below the video there, and if you want to subscribe, there's a subscribe button in the top right hand corner of all my videos. Just click to there and subscribe, add some viewers, increase my popularity. I never had any when I was in school, so this is what I crave. Okay, so until next time, Sleepless Night saying I'm going now.